Hello everybody and welcome to the Football Philosophy channel. This is just a quick preview of tonight's game. Really looking forward to it. United and City in the Carabou Cup semi-final. Second time in 12 months that we will have played City in the Carabou Cup semi-final. Spurs got through last night, so Spurs are waiting. They beat Brentford 2-0. So I'll touch on that game shortly, but Spurs are waiting for whoever gets through to play in the final. And also I'm going to quickly talk about Monday night's game. Southampton amazingly beat Liverpool 1-0. First of all though, it seems to be just one thing after another these days, but terribly sad news came through yesterday that Colin Bell had passed away. I remember Colin Bell when I was a young man growing up in Manchester, and United and City were having ding-dong battles, and Colin Bell was really the heart and soul of Manchester City's midfield. Colin Bell, Colin Bell was a fantastic player. There are times where you can put away rivalries and just completely forget about things like that. It is such a sad time, and my condolences go out to Colin Bell's family and friends, and even all Manchester City fans who might remember him. He was a truly fantastic player, a part of the team that involved Francis Lee and Mike Summerby. They came from nowhere City, and they won the Football League in 1968, and the FA Cup in 69, and the old European Cup Winners' Cup in 70. They had a really special 4 or 5 years, and as I say, Colin Bell was the heartbeat of that team, and he was a truly fantastic player. So it is sad news, and condolences to all his family. To the football this week, let's start on Monday night. Southampton beat Liverpool 1-0. I really couldn't believe it. I watched that game. Not too long ago that I didn't even watch Liverpool's games because they were just winning so easily, but you just seem to think every time they play at the minute there's half a chance they might drop some points. So I did watch that game the other night. I thought Southampton was superb. Liverpool dominated the game in the second half, and I couldn't believe that they hung on. And there's a lot of stuff going around on Twitter and all sorts of social media platforms about Jurgen Klopp after the game. I didn't see the interview. I didn't bother watching the interviews after the game. But on one tweet that I read today, it said that he was actually asked about United. So I don't know the truth of that, whether he was asked about United. But apparently he's supposed to have said that United are getting too many penalties. And then that's led to a couple of things on Twitter that I've seen. I've seen Richard Keys and Andy Gray looking at the amount of penalties that United get. And Richard Keys, I thought it was shocking what Richard Keys said. He said United have had... They talked about the last season and a half in the Premier League, and Andy Gray did a quick calculation and said that's over 50 games, a season and a half, obviously 38 and 19, 57, you're getting on towards 60 games a season and a half. Obviously it's a rough estimate, but he said in a season and a half they've had, I think it was 33 penalties, and Richard Keys actually said that about 20 of them were dubious. So I think he's definitely going over the top there. But then they had a list on the screen of players that have actually won the penalties. It's not, a lot of people don't like that phrase that you've won a penalty. But out of the 33 penalties, Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford were top of that list. 7 penalties each that they'd supposedly won. And Richard Key said these two are prime culprits, he said. Now, he didn't use the word diving, but I think that's what he's suggesting. What does he mean by prime culprits? It's not their fault if they're getting tripped up in the penalty area on regular occasions, is it? Another thing that I saw on Sky was an actual figure of how many penalties United have had in the period that Jurgen Klopp has been Liverpool's manager. And United have had, it said on Sky that United have had 11 more penalties. I think they were just counting in the league. So 11 more penalties in the period that Jurgen Klopp's been Liverpool's manager. They worked it out. They said it works out to 2 a season. So 2 a season is 1 every 38 games, which is 1 every 19 games. And to me, it's virtually irrelevant. It isn't worth talking about. An extra one penalty every 19 games. I have my own theory on things like this. Just like you can be lucky in a game, you know it's not always the best team that wins a game. In fact, that's a common saying in football. It's not always the best team that wins. And yet they also say that at the end of the season, a phrase that you often hear, the cream always rises to the top, and the best team comes out on top in the end. I don't agree with that. I think if you win the league, and I don't care whether it's United that have won the league in the past or other teams, I'm just speaking generally. If you win the league by 1, 2 or 3 points, there can be so much luck involved. Just like there is in one game, you can be so lucky to win one game. Take United, for example, at Brighton this season. Not only did Brighton hit the woodwork 5 times, but we got a penalty after the final whistle had blown, obviously through VAR. We got a penalty after the final whistle had gone. So that was a lucky win in more ways than one. It's a really lucky win, a really lucky 3 points. Now that sort of thing's not going to happen for you time and time again. But you're also going to lose some games where you're the best team, and you're going to get the points on some occasions where you don't deserve them. So the team that comes out on top at the end of the season may be the team, especially I'm talking about if there's 1, 2 or 3 points in it at the end, you might be the team who had more luck in your games compared to the team who came second. So I don't agree with that, saying that the best team always comes out on top. And what's strange about that is that people do agree that it's not always the best team that wins, and yet for some reason at the end of the season it's supposed to be the best team that comes out on top. Now you might think I'm going off at a tangent, but one extra penalty in 19 games or 2 in a season is virtually irrelevant. It's just luck. It just isn't anything. I've seen some people trying to explain it on Twitter. We've got the players who dribble it in the box, and that's why we win more penalties. But if you look at the stats on Sky, I mean, surely you're only talking about Martial and Rashford when you say that. But if we've had 33 pens and they've won 7 each, that's 14. It leaves 19. So we've had 19 pens that weren't won by Martial and Rashford. So, you know, some of them are for handball, like the one at Brighton was for handball. There's all sorts of different reasons and different players that get those penalties. And the fact that one team has 2 more penalties in a whole season than another team is virtually irrelevant and cannot be explained away in a reasonable manner. It just happens, and it can't be helped. Next season, it might be them that gets 2 extra penalties. The numbers, that's another thing. The numbers just can't be, well, obviously they can be, but the numbers don't have to be exactly the same. If you're going to get, I don't know, say 12 pens in a season, if you was going to have a guess, another team, how many pens will they get, you wouldn't probably guess the same number, would you? You'd say, well, we've got 12, they'll probably get 10, or they might get 14. So it's just one of those things. It can't be explained. There's no explanation, and that's that. It's ridiculous. So that was so Southampton hung on to that win. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp was extremely upset. United have got Burnley away before they go to Anfield. That's been rearranged, hasn't it, for a week today. That's next Wednesday, I think. Or is it Tuesday? No, it's next Tuesday. So I think if we can win that game, absolute worst case scenario, even if we lose at Anfield, we would still be level on points with Liverpool, which should be brilliant at this stage of the season. I've seen some people sort of saying rest players against Watford, rest a few players against Burnley. You cannot afford to rest players against Burnley. Those 3 points are more important now. They're not more important than the 3 points at Anfield, but right now they are. They're the next 3 points. You've got to get those next 3 points. Even if some players get tired, even if a player gets injured, you've got to get those 3 points. No point fielding a slightly weakened side and then regretting the fact maybe you draw the game. There's no guarantee you'll win anyway. The Premier League's a tough league. No matter what team you put out, there's no guarantee you will win. But you put out your strongest possible team to beat Burnley. Get those 3 points in the bag, then go to Anfield. No matter what team you field at Anfield, you might lose. There's more chance of losing at Anfield with a strong team than there is at Burnley. Try and win those 3 points at Burnley. Worst case scenario, you're level with Liverpool after you've played them. If you get those 3 points at Burnley, then worry about the Liverpool game. Hopefully you can at least get a draw. I'd take a draw all day long if we're 3 points in front of them. So the 3 points at Burnley are of paramount importance as we speak. So that's that. The Spurs game last night. Spurs beat Brentford 2-0. You can see how Jose Mourinho, all you've got to ask is, did Kane and Son play? I'm not really sure exactly what the lineup is, but you've only got to glance at the team sheet. Kane and Son played. That shows you exactly the sort of team that Jose selected. He's a serial winner of that trophy. He's won it 4 times, I believe. 3 times with Chelsea and once with United, so he'll be chasing his 5th title. He loves to get if you call it a title. I remember LVG used to call cups titles, but they're after Jose will be after his 5th League Cup win, and he does like to try and get any trophy in the cabinet to set himself going. I believe Ollie should be thinking like that as well. I'm a lover of looking at the club's history and the club's trophy cabinet, if you like, this historical trophy cabinet, as people are often looking at the titles we've won and can we make it 21 this season. I've been looking at the League Cup. City, by the way, have won the last 3 League Cups. They've won 5 of the last 7 League Cups. Now, you might not think of the League Cup as a massive trophy. It's not a massive trophy, but it is regarded as a serious trophy. It goes on your honours board, and when anybody's counting up how many trophies your club has won, the League Cup is on that list. Charity Shield might be left off it, and there's little pre-season tournaments and all that. The League Cup's not one of those. The League Cup is a serious trophy. It's regarded, as they call it, a major honour. It's regarded as a major honour. So the League Cup is the only major honour that City have won more times than United have won. And I don't like it. Don't care what trophy it is. City have won it 7 times, we've won it 5 times. So I'd like to inch a little bit closer to them and, try and win it this time. If it ends up City and Spurs in the final, I mean, that's a ding-dong battle League Cup totals-wise, with Jose having won it 4 times. He's won it nearly as many times as United have. And obviously City having won it 7 times. Massive game tonight. What team will Ollie pick? It's a right tricky one. Will he rest players? Obviously we've got I don't see why he should rest players. We've got Watford in the Cup on Saturday. I've just said you pick your strongest team at Burnley. Maybe the Watford game in between is a game where you can give a few a rest. Whatever he thinks his strongest team is, maybe he should pick it tonight. Sometimes it's horses for courses. Sometimes you change your team to suit the opposition. Whatever team Ollie thinks is the best possible lineup to win this game tonight is the lineup that he should go with. Forget the other games. We need to get into this final. Ollie has already said on a couple of occasions, he's mentioned that United got beat in 3 semis as if it's a proud record, and I don't like it the way he says it. We got beat in the League Cup semi last year, the FA Cup semi, and the Europa League semi. I don't like the way he says that, and I like it even less if after tomorrow night we've then lost 4 semi-finals, because obviously the League Cup semi that we lost to City was only last January. So it'll be 4 semi-finals in 12 months that we will have lost if we do get beat this evening. So whatever team he picks, I hope we get through. I hope we are there. The final's not until April. I'll be back this evening. It's a 7:45 kickoff. Team news should be out about 7:15, so about 6:30, live answering questions on the lineup and talking about the possible lineup. So see you perhaps at 6. What did we say then? 6:30. At about 6:30 we'll be live later this afternoon. If you've enjoyed that show, please tell all your friends. Please subscribe. If you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anybody. Keep stum.